Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, October 10th. We have all you need to know about criminal charges against a drug ring in Center County, as well as park improvements coming to the county.
We also have more on new potential internet access in State College, along with entertainment, sports, and weather. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hannah Markovich.
And I'm Paloma Freundt.
Local authorities state more criminal charges are being filed in connection to a large-scale drug ring operating in Center County and nearby areas. A recently released grand jury investigation said close to a dozen people were involved in the drug distribution network. State College resident Larry David was identified as the head of the drug ring. The 46-year-old was initially arrested by police in the spring of 2021. Police said they found over 1,400 baggies of heroin in his car, with the investigation dating back to 2020. This week, charges were filed against Starla Kemp. Kemp testified before the grand jury last fall. She said that she helped David in making trips to Newark, New Jersey at least 2 or 3 times a week. The latest grand jury presentment issue stated David and 9 others are now facing drug-related charges.
Center County is finally feeling some relief after the drought conditions seen over the past few months. The rain that has recently fallen is beneficial for plants, but it has not entirely fixed the problem. Center County bodies of water are still seeing below average water levels. Officials say while rain is beneficial in raising water levels, you need steady and consistent rainfall patterns, which has not been the case recently. Officials want to reassure the public that this is not a concern when it comes to having a rough water in the dam for people to drink, but it does impact those who boat and fish on the water.
Improvement projects are moving forward for 2 State College neighborhood parks. Nittany Village Park on Old Bullsburg Road and South Hills Park on Aikens Place will see several upgrades. The Borough Council recently rewarded a $170,000 contract to John Clare Excavating of Woodward for the renovations. The project description says that some of the improvements include adding signage to define the park areas as public places, planting trees to increase the urban canopy, and creating walking paths. Construction is expected to be completed in December. Borough staff will install new plantings in the spring.
A new cable and internet provider may soon become available in State College. A Virginia-based telecommunications company, Chantel, is hoping to provide its services to Patton Township and neighboring municipalities. During a township meeting in late September, Chantel's manager said they are offering to pay the retainer for Cohen Law Group to represent the township in a potential franchise agreement. The last time the township updated its franchise agreement was in 2019 with Comcast. The agreement allows for other providers to be invited into the local market. As we continue into October, temperatures are continuing to drop. What else we can expect from this week's fall weather? Dana Oswood with Campus Weather Service has more details in this week's weather report. Take a look.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Dana Osgood, here with your PSN News Nightly Forecast. We had a really nice day here in State College with just a couple of puffy cumulus clouds over Beaver Stadium. It's currently in the mid-60s, so it felt a lot warmer outside today than it has over the past couple of days, but this is actually right around average for this time of year, so it really speaks to how cool it's been over the past couple of days. So speaking of the next couple of days, what are we going to see? Sunny and seasonable, high pressure has been dominating our weather over the past couple of days and will continue to do so ahead of a low pressure system, which will give us a soaking rain Wednesday night and into the day on Thursday. Then that is associated with a pretty robust low pressure system by the time it gets to our area. And then high pressure from Canada settles in after that cold front moves through, and temperatures will take a tumble as we get into the weekend. So a pretty good mix of sun and clouds across the New England region, with just a couple of rain showers popping up in Boston. But take a look in the Ohio Valley, temperatures in the 70s, and we could even touch 70 here in State College tomorrow, and probably for one of the last times as we go into the earlier into the month of October. So the radar and satellite doesn't show a whole lot. We do have a couple of showers popping up in the Scranton area, but most of this rain isn't even reaching the ground. This is associated with a dying cold front moving across the northern tier, just giving us some cloud cover by the New York PA border, but most of us have remained dry and relatively sunny over the past day today. Now, there isn't too much to speak of. This large high-pressure system over the Ohio Valley is what's going to continue to dominate our weather until a low-pressure system arrives, but right now it's just forming up in Canada, so there isn't really anything to look at it. But as we look into the future weather, that's where we'll get to see it. So as this cold front approaches, we'll have some increase in clouds throughout the day on Monday, could have some scattered showers by the lakeshore, and this front is going to be a little disorganized as it begins to move into the Ohio Valley, but it really gets its act together right before it gets into Pennsylvania. And all of this moisture is actually streaming up all the way from the Gulf. So there's a lot of moisture associated with this system, so it'll give us a good soaking rain throughout the day on Thursday, and especially in the afternoon and evening hours, particularly in eastern PA. And there actually is a chance for areas in New York and New England have a slight risk for excessive rainfall. So there is a lot of moisture associated with this system. We could see a couple of scattered showers that came up really briefly on kind of the back end of this system up by the lakeshore, but we will dry out for the weekend, but it'll be pretty cool as well. So how much rain are we going to be seeing from this system? Some areas could see up to or over an inch of rain, so you definitely want to bring your umbrella for the day on Thursday. But before Thursday, we have to get through tonight. Tonight, a low around 41 with cool temps and clear skies. Clear skies allows our temperatures to drop a lot lower than if we had clouds in the sky. And then for tomorrow, almost reaching 70. We could reach 70 in some places, but 69 with mostly sunny skies, and honestly a gorgeous day. I recommend getting outside because it's probably one of the last nice and warm days that we're going to have as we go further into October. And our 7-day forecast shows plenty of sunshine throughout the beginning of the week, and then once we get into that soaking rain on Thursday, temperatures are going to take a tumble as we go into the weekend down into the upper 50s, but we do start to bounce back a little bit on Saturday, but really in the beginning of next week, we will be feeling the chill. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Dana Osgood. Have a great day.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Ben Russell with your sports update. The Nittany Lions men's soccer team roared its way to a 4-1 victory over Michigan State on Friday. Senior Liam Butts had 2 goals in the first half, while team captain Peter Mangione and Van Danielson also added a goal of their own. Owen Elliott made his first start of the season in net and made saves on 2 of 3 shots he faced. With the win, the Blue and White move up to second place in the Big Ten with just 4 games remaining in the regular season before the start of the conference tournament. The Nittany Lions will head to Bloomington this Friday to take on Indiana. Penn State men's hockey had its first 2 games of the season this past weekend. The Nittany Lions defeated Canisius in each game with a 5-2 victory in Game 1 and a 7-5 win in Game 2. Several players scored for Penn State in both games, including Ashton Calder, Kevin Wall, and Ryan Kerwin. Kerwin scored twice in the second game and also added an assist. The Blue and White will have a home-and-home this week with Mercyhurst before returning to Pagula Ice Arena to take on St. Thomas on October 20th and 21st. The inaugural MLB Wild Card round lived up to its name this weekend as 4 teams advanced to the Division Series after winning a best-of-3 game series. The Cleveland Guardians got a walk-off home run in the 15th inning from rookie outfielder Oscar Gonzalez on Saturday to advance, while the Seattle Mariners and Philadelphia Phillies also won their series to move on to the Division Series for the first time since 2001 and 2011, respectively. The San Diego Padres defeated the New York Mets in 3 games on Sunday and will now face their division rival Los Angeles Dodgers. The division series in both the NL and AL will begin this Tuesday, with each league alternating off days as a part of the new MLB postseason schedule. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Camila Vega has the latest updates from the entertainment world. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Camila Vega with your entertainment update. Penn State students lined up to witness an incredible performance on what would have been a regular Tuesday night. The Killers had a truly electric performance last week at the BJC. The concert was part of their Imploding the Mirage tour. English singer Johnny Marr opened up the show with some of his top hits. About an hour into the performance, the Killers took the stage and gave Penn State students a night to remember. The band closed the show with one of their biggest hits, Mr. Brightside. Fall is here and so is pumpkin season. This Saturday, October 15th, the Downtown State College Improvement District will be hosting its 21st annual Fall Festival. They'll have tons of activities for the whole family. There'll be pumpkin decorating, fun houses, pony rides, and local food vendors. You can also participate in the live broadcast for a chance to win 2 tickets to Carrie Underwood's show at the BJC. The event will kick off at 10 a.m. and run up until 3 p.m. The Aizuri Quartet made its way to University Park last week, where they serenaded the crowd with their sunrise performance. Field reporter Emily Foley has all the details. Take a look.
On October 5th, the Aizuri String Quartet gave an intimate preview for their show, Sunrise, at the Hintz Family Alumni Center. The Aizuri Quartet is an all-female string group famously known for their outstanding takes on classical pieces. Winners of the 2022 Cleveland Quartet Award, the group still loves to perform at more laid-back events such as this.
We love events like this, like what we had tonight, to be able to be really just physically close to the audience as well.
Classical music is a genre that is usually missing from college kids' playlists. The National Endowment for the Arts reports that 11.6% of adults in the United States attended a classical music performance in 2002. By 2017, that number dropped to 8.6%. Studies have found that listening to classical music can help to create a calming effect that will also improve sleep and reduce stress. College can be one of the most busy and hectic time of a young adult's life. Listening to classical music can be just one way college students can help themselves navigate it.
I think there's lots of different options and different kinds of classical music this year. I think it'll be exciting.
As you can see, classical music is still alive here at Penn State. Events like these, hosted by the Center for Performing Arts, show how the next generation can carry on the legacy of classical music. With its heavy influence on modern music, college kids probably like it more than they already know. Students can look forward to the upcoming classical music performances in the spring. For Penn State Network News, I'm Emily Foley.
The quartet's melodic performance surely made for a lovely event for Penn State. One of the best parts of October is getting to watch new thrillers and horror movies. The film Don't Worry Darling has given fans a lot to talk about. The psychological thriller keeps viewers on the edge of their seats the whole time. The star-studded cast includes big names like Florence Pugh, Olivia Wilde, and Harry Styles. If you haven't had the chance to see it, make your way to theaters for a thrilling experience. That's all for your entertainment update. After the break, interview anchor Carly Knowlton will be speaking to social media influencer Katie Feeney about her extreme success. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to PSN News. I'm Carly Knowlton. This evening, I get the incredible opportunity to interview Katie Feeney, a sophomore at Penn State who is a huge TikTok sensation. She has gained over 7 million followers from numerous dance, comedy, DIY, and unboxing videos. Katie, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You're the biggest Penn Stater on TikTok, over 7 million followers. How does this make you feel?
It's crazy. I mean, it's hard for me to even see myself in that way because I've just been doing this for so long, and I feel like every other student, but it's weird to think that like people look at me differently. So it's been an experience for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that. What is the first video that you posted that went worldwide, would you say?
Oh gosh, I mean, I started on Musical.ly, so that was a while ago. I did this one dance with my school's dance team to the song Music Makes You Lose Control by Missy Elliott, which blew up, and that was in high school, but I don't even remember what my first video on Musical.ly was, and I don't think I want to even have to go back. I think it was a dance video, but yeah, those videos were interesting.
So, growing up in Maryland, what made you choose to come to Penn State out of all the other schools you could choose?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much set up to go to Maryland. That was my plan. I didn't even really apply to many other schools, but Penn State was always like a school I wanted to go to. It was just more realistic that I would go to Maryland, and because of my success on social media, I was able to pay fully for Penn State, and that ultimately was why I came here.
Okay, well that makes sense. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I know that you just got this social media job with the Washington Commanders. Can you tell us a little bit about how that looks?
Yeah, so over the summer I went to a lot of the training camps and some practices. I went to the draft party. And then I've been going to some of their games. I went to the home opener. I was at the game this past Sunday against the Titans. But I basically film a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, a lot of atmosphere. I've gotten to interview players like Carson Wentz, our very own Jahan Dotson, which was pretty crazy. I was there the night that he got drafted and got to talk to him on the phone. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, just a lot of behind the scenes. And then I'm on the sidelines at the games filming.
Yeah, that's incredible. Seriously incredible. Did you ever see yourself like a few years ago, like, all right, I'm getting big, I got 100,000 followers, oh my goodness, I hit 1 million. Like, what do you think the future's gonna look like for you?
I'm excited to find out, hopefully more in sports. I also wanna incorporate more lifestyle stuff, but I mean, it all happened very quickly. Like working for an NFL team was in my 10-year plan, not my 19-year-old plan. I mean, now I'm 20, but yeah, it's been very surreal. I'm very blessed to have been able to do all of this at such a young age.
If you could pick any famous person to be in a TikTok with you, do you know who you would want to film a TikTok with?
In the sports world, Erin Andrews would be so cool. She's a huge role model for me as a woman in sports. And then Emma Chamberlain, also a huge role model of mine. I think she's absolutely hilarious. And she's been able to accomplish so much at 21. So just to like sit down and have a conversation with her would be a dream of mine.
Yeah, Emma's really cool. Like she started painting shoes, I think.
Yeah.
And then now she has her dream house. No, that's incredible.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
That's incredible. So I know you're in school, you're a sophomore at Penn State. Is it hard you have all this stuff coming at you on top of your schoolwork? How do you manage all this? And is it stressful ever?
Yeah, it definitely is a lot, but I enjoy being busy. I just wake up early. I try to get a workout in first thing in the morning, get back at any filming I have to get done. I don't have in-person classes Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, which is how I just scheduled web classes those days and then in-person Tuesday, Thursday, so I can film my brand deals on those days and then just grind out schoolwork Tuesdays and Thursdays and then throughout the week as well. But I mean, I have a to-do list. I just try to keep myself organized, and that's how I've been able to do it. But I mean, the second I don't have something to do, I'm like, this feels a little strange.
No, I get that. I feel the same way. Like, I'm in so many clubs at Penn State, and I'm like, I have an hour free. Something's missing here. But,
exactly.
So what do you think your future will look like in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you see?
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm hoping this year to go to the Super Bowl again and maybe go to more MLB games, continue working in sports, and yeah, I don't really know what the future holds, and I guess that's the exciting part is I'm always just like finding out new things. I'm gonna continue to work on growing my platforms and just diversifying myself across all, which has been like my goal recently is to really focus on YouTube and Snapchat instead of just TikTok, because that was what I started on. Mm-hmm. But I mean, TikTok is unpredictable and you never know like if it will go away. It almost did a few times.
True.
So
yeah. And it's good that like you're diversifying yourself on all different platforms and not just sticking to one. You're right, you never know, and you never know what the future's gonna hold.
Yeah.
So that's good to like keep an open mind with everything.
Yeah, and it's fun too. Like I've definitely gotten more comfortable just speaking to the camera and interacting like with my audience, which I do a lot on Snapchat. And it's been cool to like see. I used to have a very young fan base, and now it's like I have a lot of college students watching me and like older kids and like young adults, which has been cool because I've, I guess, like expanded myself toward more people.
Well, that's good. That's really good. So when you have your younger audience, do you almost feel like you need to act a certain way when you're on social media, or are you just, that's just your regular personality?
I definitely keep like my content very clean. Not even just for the younger audience I have, just because for brands. I mean, that's like, that's how I started, and that's how I will continue to keep my videos. And I mean, I feel like even though it's taken me maybe a little bit longer to grow because of the type of clean content I post, I'm happy that I didn't like take any shortcuts in posting some content that people do. And if like, I don't know, I don't feel like I don't need to get too specific. I feel like some people, girls and guys, grow very quickly because of the content they post.
Oh, you're so right about that. So just keep it clean and age-friendly for everyone.
Yeah.
It's always the best way to go. Are there any videos that you regret posting, do you think? Or you love them all?
I don't regret any videos
No?
I've posted. I mean, some videos I'll look back and I'm like, oh gosh, like, why did I post that? Like, some of my younger videos, just like the Musical.ly videos. I think anyone looking back at videos they posted on Musical.ly or even early TikTok are just like, ugh. But I mean, I don't regret anything.
No, I get that.
It's gotten me to where I am now, so even though some of them are a little bit interesting.
So with your 7 million followers on TikTok, like, where do you see yourself in the next few weeks here? Do you think you'll start hanging out with Brad more and like doing some videos with him?
I've known Brad for a long time because I did a lot with Jerpa.
Okay.
So I met him through that. It's been really cool to see him grow. I always knew that at some point he would start to blow up, and I'm really happy for him. He deserves it, and I mean, who he is on social media is literally who he is. Like, he is all about just inspiring people and like motivation, so it's been really cool to see him grow.
Oh, that's awesome. So I know that you just posted a video about women in sports and it blew up. And I know that you have it pinned right now on TikTok and everything. So in the future, where do you see women in sports, and do you see yourself in the future with sports as well? Hopefully?
Yeah, I mean, I just sorry. I just see more women working in sports, and if I can be someone to inspire younger girls to get into it. I got a lot of positive feedback on that video of just girls saying, like, now that I see that another woman can do it or a young girl can do it, like, I want to get into it too. I mean, at the Super Bowl, at the MLB All-Star game, I was one of like the only females there, and there was not a lot of young people there either. So it was kind of intimidating, definitely, like interviewing these big players and being 19. I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? But
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool to see how it's changed in the sports world.
So with all of that, what do you think your biggest accomplishment is so far?
Definitely working for the Washington Commanders and being the first ever social media correspondent for the NFL. That was very crazy, and it's still surreal that I'm in this position and I've gotten to meet so many people. And yeah, again, like, that was something I would have hoped to do in 10 years, not right now. So I'm very, very blessed for just everything that social media has given to me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's huge. It's a major accomplishment. You have come so far.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's something really happy to be proud of yourself for. I know I post TikToks, I get 100 views. I'm like, yes! So you have come so far, and just, it's awesome. Thank you so much for coming with us tonight. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It's been very awesome to talk with you.
Thank you. So next up, Hannah and Paloma will bring us the latest news from across the nation. We'll be right back.
A bus from Texas dropped off about 50 migrants outside Vice President Kamala Harris's residence at the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. for the second time this week. Reports state many of the migrants, including men, women, and children, came from Venezuela. They were seen carrying their possessions in small white bags. Victor, a young man amongst the migrants, said that he came through, quote, the jungle before first arriving in Texas, though he said he was given food on the bus and treated very well. Victor said he does not have a final destination in mind, but is seeking a job. Volunteers from SAMU, First Response, an international nonprofit, were on hand to assist the migrants.
3 House Democrats have introduced legislation to end U.S. troop protection in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. This is in response to news this week that OPEC and its allies will last oil production. These countries comprise about 30% of global crude oil reserves. With around 5,000 U.S. troops currently stationed there, this legislation would remove the American troops and missile defense systems from the countries, as well as move all U.S. technology elsewhere in the region.
Recent reports state President Biden told hurricane-stricken Florida that the federal government, quote, will be here until it's finished, after touring the damage from Hurricane Ian by helicopter. President Biden had a briefing on the recovery efforts and a meeting with state leaders, including Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis is considered a potential 2024 White House contender, and he and Biden have sparred on several political issues. President Biden alluded to the politics while praising DeSantis.
Experts are arguing that efforts by California water agencies to cut their water usage in efforts to save the river basin and stave off a larger crisis are not enough. The agencies which together consume the largest proportion of lower Colorado river water, propose cutting their annual allotment of river water by around 130 billion gallons. Arizona water experts say that the amount per year is not even 10% of California's total allocation and not enough to save the Colorado River. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation Commissioner said Western states are negotiating a plan. However, if states cannot come up with a voluntary plan solution, the federal government will step in and make unilateral cuts. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.